Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to the Grisaia. Man, this is kind of awkward without any BGM at the start of the episode. But I am back after a short break. Just got myself some cold milk and a short trip to the toilet. And I am back for more Grisaia. But as I was saying though, I think so far, Michiru's route is not as bad as I seem to remember it. Maybe, like I said, when I was playing this when I was older, I had some misconceptions about what was going on in the route. But who knows? Maybe I did not have misconceptions. Maybe there was something that happened later on that kind of pissed me off. We'll see. But let's continue on. As instructed, I immediately make my way to the empty school building. Maybe now I'll finally get some real answers about what's going on with my erratic young friend. Even as I'm settling in to wait, the door slides silently open and the girl in question enters. Michiru folds her arms and slowly, silently approaches me. She appears to be sizing me up somehow. Rather than taking a chair, she lowers herself onto a desk in front of me. We're at point-blank range, but she still hasn't said a word. Well, no point waiting till the sun goes down. Instead of easing into the topic at hand, I try abruptly throwing her a bit of a fastball. You going to explain yourself? What the hell was that supposed to be? But as soon as the words leave my mouth, Michiru fires right back in an even more forceful tone of voice.
Yuji-kun, 君こそ説明してくれない?
An explanation? Me?
そう、説明。なんであんなことしたの? もちろんあんなことってキスのことね。とぼけないでね。
Seems the girl's genuinely upset with me now. Completely incomprehensible. I was expecting you to give me some sort of explanation, but instead it's yet another lecture on responsibility.
その通り、責任です。君さ、本当に無神経だよね。
So? I don't think there's anything wrong with being insensitive. Michiru rebukes me in a vaguely disgusted tone of voice, almost like a big sister lecturing her brat of a brother on how to use his chopsticks. This coming from you? If you want to criticize my manners, shouldn't you explain who you are first? That little body-swapping routine just now wasn't half bad, but it's not going to fool me. I assume you're aware of that.
私は私でしょ? 逆に聞くけど、君は誰?
Well, I'm me. Not sure how else to answer that.
でしょ? 自分で答えられないことを他人に聞くなんて馬鹿げてる。
God, you are so annoying. Again with this, when I talk to the other Michiru, I always end up getting lost in fog, wandering straight off topic. But I'm not Alice, and this isn't a time to be getting caught up in riddles. Okay, look, I've had enough of the riddling. Just because you're perching on top of a desk doesn't mean you need to croak at me like a crow.
それ、どういう意味?
Doesn't mean anything. Listen, just answer the question, will you? That's the most basic rule of a coherent conversation.
ルールは破るためにある。
Some people feel that way, but it's hard to have a fair match without them. Here and now, for the purposes of this discussion, I think the two of us should be on even footing.
そうね。そうかもしれない。では、たった今から君のルールに従います。どんなルール?
Michiru imitates putting her hand on a Bible as she speaks. Hopefully this means we're finally going to get somewhere. Good. Rule number 1. The first and only rule. Truthfully answer the following question. Who are you?
だからさっきも言ったでしょ? 私は私。
Who is Michiru then? Let me rephrase the question. You're definitely Michiru, but you're not the Michiru I know. Listen, I don't need any more banter. Just give me a yes or no answer. Are you Michiru? Michiru heaves a deep sigh and hops lightly down from the desk. After a moment of silence, she shrugs her shoulders expressively, silently communicating the words, "You really are clueless, aren't you?"
ねえ、世の中はイエスとノーだけじゃ返事できない問題がたくさんある。例えば、1たす1はイエスかノーじゃ答えられない。これは謎かけじゃない。構造の問題。
That depends on the question. If I'm going to give you a yes or no question, then that rule is not structurally flawed. Jesus Christ, God, I think this is why I hate I hate this route. This woman is not trying to answer us, like, you know, in a very honest manner.
もちろん、あなたが好きそうな二進法に変換したら、イエスノーイエスノーイエスノーの羅列で表現できるかもしれないけど、でもそれって、
Oh, sorry. Pushing out her lips in a mild pout, she continues with a clear tinge of displeasure in her voice.
やぼったい。それもとびっきりね。
That's so. This is a problem. Seems the two of us are communicationally incompatible.
それじゃあ君の話は終わりかな。今度は私の話を聞いて。
I lower myself onto a chair and lean back in my listening pose. Sadly, I can't help but admit it. We're firmly in Wonderland territory here. Seems I have no choice but to play by our rules. Shame we don't have any tea. I'm sure your story is worth savoring at length.
大丈夫。時間は取らせない。っていうか、時間がないのよ。あった。茶化さないでね。本当に時間がないんだから。そして、これは大問題なのよ。
After thinking for a while, Michiru clears her throat with a little cough. I get the impression the girl just brushed away the conversation to this point, like so many errant particles of dust.
まず、この子はひどく動揺してる。さっきの何？あんなこと初めて。原因はもちろん君。わかるでしょ？
Yeah, I guess so.
そして、今日のことも深く彼女を傷つけることになる。これは、君が思ってるよりもずっとシリアスに彼女を傷つける。だから、君には責任を取ってほしいの。簡単に言うと、慰めてほしい。
Comfort? Want me to pet your head then? Or maybe I should get a big stuffed animal, put some candy in a stocking, and drop down the chimney at Christmas.
だから茶化さないで。明日の朝、この子の部屋に来て、それから慰めて。とっても優しく、とっても紳士的に。
The fuck? Comfort me like a gentleman. Can't say I've ever heard someone make a request like that on their own behalf before. People drop hints, but outright telling someone I'm weak, comfort me is more than a little unusual. Will that prevent any future problems?
ある程度はね。でも君がこの子にキスした時点で、それは始まってしまったのよ。
Hold on, you're making this out to be my fault, but you're the one who started this.
そうね。確かにそう。でも私と違ってこの子は純粋なの。もちろん、私だってそこそこ純粋よ。でも、この子はそれとは比べ物にならないの。
See, this...
キスで。
See, as I was saying, sorry that I cut her off. This is what doesn't make sense to me. Like, she's saying she doesn't know who she is, but she should know who she is. Because if she is, DID, which is, dissociative identity disorder, technically, DIDs don't surface, like, you know, when the other person is, in control of their body. But this girl clearly knows what was going on after she switched with Michiru in the washing room, in the laundry room. So this is why I feel like a lot of the things that happen in this story is a bit too convenient. So it's not like the author doesn't know that you know, that this girl is not supposed to not know what's going on when Michiru's in control of the body. He knows. Because, like, Michiru wasn't aware of what this girl's doing, and this girl is not aware of what Michiru's doing. But in that instance, the girl just suddenly knew what to do, like it was, you know, like, bam. So, the inconsistencies is what I'm trying to say, is what bothers me. To some people, of course, they probably would just think it's a minor inconvenience, but this is actually a very crucial point, especially as someone who studies this. Michiru hesitates for a moment, but apparently decides that there's no use hiding it. She fires off the words as if eager to get them off her tongue.
君のことを好きになったのよ。単純だって笑わないでね。だって生まれて初めてのキスをしたのよ。それで普通でいろって方が難しいんじゃない？
If you say so.
何か質問はある？
Quite a few, actually. There's a whole mountain of things I don't understand. But I don't trust this hitting wall to return my volleys properly. Lob a tennis ball at her, and you might as well get a watermelon flying back at you. No, not for you at least. I'll ask the girl herself tomorrow. Seems like it'll be faster that way.
それならそれで構わない。でもあくまで。
A gentleman?
わかってるじゃない。君って堅物だけど、飲み込みは早いのね。
The conversation apparently concluded. Michiru waves her hand vaguely in my general direction.
あまり四角ばらないでね。はい、これあげる。まったく、あんな数、どうしろっていうのよ。
Leaving a single model car behind on top of the desk, Michiru strides out of the classroom. It's like something out of a mystery novel, completely beyond me. I'm a spectator on this ride, and the windows are opaque. I was hoping to get a handle in the situation, but it's impossible. Don't even feel like reading some escapist novel right now. The only thing I want to do at the moment is collect my thoughts without the risk of being disturbed. Which means... guess I'll go for a little run. With a small sigh, I quietly close the story of the girl named Michiru, placing a bookmark between today and tomorrow. Some things are inevitable. The carefully wrapped present you hand to a child never comes back in one piece. There's no night without a dawn. The wrapping paper gets torn to shreds, and the sun rises. That's the way the world works. The girl who wasn't the girl who told me to come to her room in the morning. A lot about this strikes me as strange, but at the moment, I want to get this situation resolved. Time enough to pick at the details later. Although getting up at 5 in the morning is perfectly routine for me, I understand that I'm something of an outlier among my age group in this regard. Therefore, I decided to take care of my normal morning run and shower off my sweat before paying my visit. Once I'm clean and dressed, I pull out the mental bookmark I've wedged between two slices of time, making my way to Michiru's room to pick up the story where I left off. Well, I'm here at least, so that's step one. But how exactly am I supposed to make my entrance? Most likely, the Michiru on the other side of this door has no idea that I'm coming. I pause for a moment, trying to think up a decent opening line. But soon enough, I shake my head and reach out for the doorknob. Thinking isn't going to help right now. Too many unknowns. Whatever happened, happens. Michiru, you awake? I wait patiently for a response, but as expected, there's no answer. Guess I'll have to make the first move. I'm coming in. If that's a problem, you can tell me why inside. It's unlocked, so my forcible entrance poses no particular difficulties. As I quietly close the door behind me, something stirs slowly in the darkness. For one strange moment, it feels as if the room itself is breathing. Fortunately, there's a bit of sunlight leaking through the gaps in the blinds, so my eyes begin to adjust. It's still gloomy in here, but not enough to pose any real issues. I spent long enough in darkness where I couldn't tell the difference between having my eyes open and shut. This dimness isn't a problem by comparison. The cloying scent of cheap candy and imported fabric softener hangs in the air, thick as tobacco smoke. Hidden inside the stronger smells, I also pick up a faint hint of ammonia, probably a major component of that witch's brew the girl slathers on her hair. I'm startled by the sudden warmth of a living creature coiling itself around my legs. It's the cat Michiru's been doting on lately. Seem to remember her claiming it wasn't a pet. But if it's hanging around her room, that seems implausible. Hello there, Ramble. Where's Michiru? The cat reacts to my voice by pattering off in its tiny paws and hiding in the bed. Seems he doesn't like me too much. And from a little above where the cat vanished, a somewhat surly human voice addresses me. Is that blanket blob you, Michiru? I'm going to open the curtains. I understand it might be easier to relax in the dark, but a little light should help you wake up. Michiru is sitting on the bed, a blanket draped over her head, her knees clutched to her chest. She's trembling visibly like some kind of traumatized war refugee, or maybe a child, waiting anxiously for parents who should have been home hours ago. Keeping a cat in the dorm, are we? Pretty bold. Can't say I entirely approve, though. You sound rather forlorn, my friend. Forget to put on your tsundere attitude this morning? Yeah, she says. I grab the back of a nearby chair and pull it up to the bed. After briefly declaring, I'm going to sit, I do so without waiting for Michiru's response. Now that's more like it. Go on, give me the vinegar. Well, what's with that whiny tone of voice? You're really off your game. I'll be your audience, so how about starting with your vocal warm-ups? If you'd like, we can restart this scene from the point where I entered the room. But isn't that disingenuous when you already know how I am, though? I suppose I could, if someone told me to. But would that really make you happy? Man, you're weird. Okay then. What a reprehensible woman. But if you want my kindness that badly, I suppose I can give it to you. I lean forward in the chair, reach out with one hand, and give Michiru a few pats on the head. Kindness. Not enough for you? Here, take a little extra. Well then, that should be enough for the moment. I'm going to get to the topic at hand. No need to prolong this, alright? You can just respond to the questions. Unless I'm completely off base, you're dragging around a serious problem of some sort. I'm not looking to pry, but whatever it is, it's creating headaches for me as well. I'm not particularly fond of stumbling cluelessly through difficult situations. To put it simply, I don't like this. I want you to explain your current condition. Can you do that for me? That's right. So you don't remember after all. With those words, Michiru lets out a tremendously long sigh. Sounds something like a 10,000-year-old cat accidentally brushing his overlong whiskers against the moon. Nothing to apologize about. You can take it nice and slow. So try to talk, alright? We've got plenty of time.
いつも暇さえあれば本を読んでるじゃない。その貴重な時間を邪魔していいの？
Not a problem. Don't sweat the small stuff right now, alright? Anyway, this happens to be exactly where I left my bookmark.
この場所？
Yeah, this is the start of the story, and you're the end. But I need to talk if I'm ever going to decipher it.
変なの。それって謎々みたい。
I guess I need you to talk, right? Yeah. Maybe. But in that case, you're the one who has the answer. I'll hear you out, Michiru, so talk to me. Just make sure to wake me up if I doze off from boredom. I've tried sleep learning before, but it never really did much for me.
わかった。話する。
The cat in Michiru's arm suddenly gives a single meow. Taking that as our cue, the girl licks her lips and begins to speak.
そのうまく伝えられるかどうかわからないけど、覚えてないの。いろいろなことを覚えてないの。さっき猫にその猫さんがこの部屋にいたっていうのも私が連れてきたんじゃないって言ったでしょ。勝手にいたの。ここまで来たのか、それとも私が連れてきたのに忘れてしまったのかわからないけど、本当に覚えてないのよ。
There's a deep wrinkle in Michiru's brow. She resembles a child trying to read a bulky encyclopedia. The girl doesn't seem to know quite where to begin.
でもいつからそうなったかははっきりと覚えてる。あの時から私は記憶が飛んじゃうようになったの。突然何もかもわからなくなって気がつくと次の朝ってこともあった。例えばよ、電車の中から外の風景を眺めていると窓の向こうに何が見えるかわかるよね。覚えてないとしてもなんとなくわかる。でも私は真っ暗なトンネルに入ったみたいになって一瞬で過ぎ去っていく景色も見えないの。それで気がつくと長いトンネルを抜けて、その先が雪国だったらまだまし。綺麗さっぱり何も覚えてない状態で翌朝になってる。
So your memory's been skipping. Okay then, let me ask a more precise question. Do you remember what happened yesterday?
部分的にはね、ちゃんと覚えてるわよ。ランドリーでみんなと話してて、それでユージがいたから緊張してすごく胸が苦しくなって、それでなんだか頭の中が熱くなって、私多分誰かに怒鳴っちゃった気がする。途端に大きな氷柱を飲み込んだみたいに気持ちがすっきりして、でもそれから後のことは覚えてない。気がついたら猫ニャがいて、ベッドの上で私は泣いてた。
Localized amnesia, is it? Is the girl herself aware that these gaps in her memory coincide with the emergence of another Michiru?
あの後どうなったの？私のことみんな怒ってる？
No, there shouldn't be a problem. I don't think you need to worry about that.
やっぱり。
Biting her lower lip, Michiru mumbles a single word. It falls out of her mouth with the dull thunk of a sizable rock hitting the floor. Again? What's that supposed to mean?
その嫌いにならないでね。あ、いや、いつもそうなの。私が覚えてないとき、何か嫌なことが起こっているんじゃないかって思うんだけど、 全然そんなことないの。むしろ問題が解決していたり、以前より物事が順調な方向に向かったり、そんなことの方が多いの。
Not turning her head, Michiru flicks her eyes over for a furtive glimpse at me. After confirming that my expression hasn't changed dramatically, she gives a small sigh and resumes her story.
昨日も同じ。私が何か失敗をしても丸く収まってる。だから余計にどうしていいかわからない。ねえユージ、私何をしたの？
I wouldn't worry too much. Your memory is probably just a little confused. At a guess, the situation was overwhelming, so you had to flip a mental switch to deal with it.
頭を切り替えるって。
Michiru reacts strongly to those words in particular. Maybe she does know after all. Well, I'm not a doctor, and you're not a patient. It's up to you how much you want to hear.
何それ？どういうこと？
I don't think it's that difficult a sentence. Think it over. Michiru lowers her gaze to the floor, staring at the carpet as if looking for the words she dropped earlier. But soon enough, she abandons the search and closes her eyes in apparent resignation.
ユージ、全部言ってみて。
Alright. Immediately after you scream,
ちょっと待って。手握ってもいい？
I guess. I don't really mind. Michiru timidly reaches out to me. Her small hand, damp with sweat, trembles like a sick songbird.
それで。
Immediately after you scream in the laundry,
ちょっと待って。もうちょっと近づいてもいい？
I guess. I don't really mind. Michiru sidles across the bed toward me. As she draws near, the fingers of her hand twine their way between mine. Can I continue now? Oops. Damn you, twitchy fingers. Immediately after you screamed.
ごめん。さ。
What now?
ギュッてしていい？
No. I'm not familiar with that verb. Request clarification.
だからギュッて。
I think that's a hug, Yuji. I can't determine what you're referring to from that word alone, and I'm unable to answer.
じゃあちょっとやってみるね。
Michiru pulls away for a moment, then leans over and wraps her arms around me. Keeping her eyes averted the whole way, she's squeezing pretty forcefully, almost like a child clutching a giant stuffed animal for reassurance.
ギュッてこういう感じ。こうしてもいい？
Seems a slightly academic question at this point. You already are.
そうだけど、してもいい？
No? I guess. I don't really mind.
よかった。それで？
This little scene must look something like a large tree, nearly ready to fall, being supported from the side by a lumberjack. A little ironic, since Michiru is clearly the one who needs to be propped up right about now. Alright, this time I'm going to finish the sentence. Immediately after...
ごめん、やっぱりいい。
What do you mean?
やっぱり言わなくていいってこと？ごめんなさい。
Alright, in that case, can you let go of me now?
やっぱり離れなきゃダメだよね。
Even as she speaks, Michiru buries her face against my chest. I can feel the area near her lips grow warm with every exhalation of breath.
やっぱり離れるのが普通だよね。変だもんね、これ。
Well, it's not especially inconvenient for me, so I don't really mind.
ありがとう。
Nothing to worry yourself about. The girl maintains her embrace on me for quite some time. My thoughts drift back to the enigmatic other Michiru. Hmm? What was that?
その嫌いになった。
Hate? Why would I? Where's this coming from?
だってやっぱり変でしょ、こういうのって。普通じゃないよね、私。あ、こういうのって記憶が飛んだりってことね。今のこの状況のことではないよ。
Hmm. It's certainly not what you'd call typical. But honestly, I don't view it as a major problem.
そう。
Yeah. Not sure why anyone would dislike you over something like that. And in the first place, nobody could call me normal either, you know. Even I'm aware of that.
うん。ユージは変だもんね。
That's right. So don't worry about it.
優しいね。
I get that a lot. To be honest, I'm getting tired of hearing it.
バカ。ありがとう。来てくれて嬉しかった。
Feel a little guilty to hear you say that.
なんで？
Because I didn't come here on my own initiative.
そっか。そうなんだ。そっか。そうだよね。
To be perfectly honest, Michiru, I came here because you told me to.
私に？
She seems to be making an effort to hide it now, but Michiru is clearly still disturbed. Confusion and anxiety flash across her face. Seems like this really is the one topic she wants to avoid above all others. But if we keep tiptoeing around it, we're never going to make any real progress.
それは、その。猫にゃ。
Watching the cat cuddle up against her leg, Michiru slowly continues to speak.
私は自分の知らない間に何が起こっているのかすごく怖いの。状況が悪くなってないからそれで構わないなんてことにはならないでしょ。
That's understandable.
自分の知らないところで自分が何かしてるなんてすごく怖い。
I guess that's true.
自分が自分でなくなっちゃうような気がして怖いの。思い出せないことが多くなって知らないことが増えて私の世界がどんどん小さく狭くなって最後には私は自分でなくなる。そういうのが怖い。でも
As Michiru pets the cat's head, it emits a noisy, rumbling purr.
朝の来ない夜はないだよね。
And her voice as she speaks those words is slightly brighter than before. How does that one go? There's no night without a dawn and no rain that doesn't end? True enough. But even if the sun does get sick of rising, as long as you're yourself, your world isn't going to get any smaller. Who cares about the rain? Morning and night have nothing to do with it. It's all you.
そうですか。そうですか。そうですか。
Hmm?
あんたね、ちょっとあれでしょ。私のこと誤解しちゃったでしょ。本当はか弱い女の子だとか思ったでしょ。それは全部あれだ。嘘ですからね、ビッシー。
Just as I notice that her eyes have grown slightly red, Michiru begins snorting roughly through her nose and shouting transparent nonsense at me. The girl really needs to learn how to deal with her emotions a little more calmly. No need to force it.
無理なんてしてないもん。だから今ここで話したこととかしたこととかは忘れなさいよね。
I personally could actually do it, Michiru. I am very good at ignoring stuff. But I don't think Yuji would. The stuff we did? By which you mean your unilateral clinging session?
聞こえませんっていうか抱きついてません。とにかくね、あんた女の子の部屋に男が入ってくるとかありえないんですけど。
Not to repeat myself, but you're the one who...
うっさい、いいから出てって。早く、もう待てない。それなら私が出て行きますんが。
As Michiru stomps off toward the door, the cat follows at a dignified pace, holding its tail straight up in the air. You forgot your broom. How about a radio while you're at it? I hear the delivery service industry is booming.
誰が魔女よ。クラは女を美しく見せるって金髪の私に喧嘩売ってんの？
The way I see it, blonde or black is beyond the point. What's beautiful is beautiful. Right. For example...
それって例えば何よ。
For example, that cat.
猫かーい。あんたちゃんと私が部屋に戻ってくるまでにはこっから消えてなさいよね。
Yeah, got it. I'll be out in a minute.
あんまり長くいられると男臭くてたまんないのよ。
I just said I'll leave.
それとねえ、ユージ。
What now?
今日のこと誰かに言ったらマジでぶっこら。
Well, looking back on this little visit, I've resolved exactly nothing. I achieved formal confirmation of Michiru's problem, but little else. The rough equivalent of shifting a heavy load on your back from the right shoulder to the left. That said, I'm not intending to take further proactive measures at the moment. Michiru's the only one who can truly resolve her problems. Maybe external aid could provide her with a temporary crutch, but that would only make things even harder on the girl when she finds herself alone again. When you try to save someone, often as not, you succeed only in stroking your own ego. Rather than scooping them up in your arms, you should be providing a push from behind. Assuming, of course, they even want your help in the first place. I agree, that's why I never hold out my hand for anyone. Guess I really should get going. I leave the sweet-smelling room behind, having gained little there, but a fresh coat of cat hair on my socks. This is what? The next day?
ってことで私ってばユージに言ってやったわけよ。今度部屋に入ってきたらつま先をつまみ上げてやるぞってね。おお、それはチルチルらしいのよさ。でしょ。こっちも遊びでツンデレやってるんじゃないんでね。やるときはやってやるですよ。
What kind of business exactly?
何よユージ、いたの？いたならちゃんとそう言いなさいよね。
Since that day, Michiru seems to have gotten back into her normal rhythm, even cracking jokes at my expense. Everything isn't quite back to the way it was before, but she seems to have gradually regained her balance.
つま先変なことされないようにユージも気をつけないとね。
Twisted toes? That's nothing. Heard a story once about a journalist who got abducted by a terrorist group. They broke out the pliers and... Alright then, guess that's enough of that story.
あんたは変なところで残酷描写が出てくるから嫌なのよね。残酷超人残酷3か。あ、それ見てた。あるの？残酷あるの？ないっけ？あまね、あるよね。あれ、私の夢だっけか。それは私にはわからないな。夢の管理ぐらいしっかりしてほしいのよさ。なんで夢の管理までやらせるかな。さすがにそれは難しいわよね。きっとサッチンならやってくれるはずなのよ。サッチン、サッチン。やれやれ。じゃあ私もちょっと買い出しに行ってくるね。何よ。
Nothing in particular. Is that Amane? Michiru, stay here. The details are unclear. Keep quiet and stand by at your present location. Don't make me repeat myself again. That scream from outside sounded like Sakaki. Hope it's nothing serious, but... oh, it's Yumiko. Sakaki, where are you? Respond. Damn it, where is she? Sakaki! What is it? What happened? It fell. What fell? Out of the sky? A cat, you say? I follow Sakaki's gaze to find a familiar black cat bounding lightly away into a nearby hedge. Must have been wandering around this area looking for Michiru. That's Michiru's cat, isn't it? No, you're misunderstanding. This is almost certainly pure coincidence. We most likely happened to pass by just as it was jumping down from a high place nearby. I doubt the cat did it out of malice either. I thought I ordered you to stay at your post, maggot. Why did you disobey me? She's not wrong? True enough. But you can't deny there was a possibility of real danger. That's why I told you to stay where you were. I really hope you can figure that much out for yourself.
Yumiko, それ私のツンデレブレインでちょっと考えたんだけど、もしかしてよ。もしかしてだけど、違ってたら気を悪くしないでね。それって猫じゃなくて雨じゃない？そうですよね。猫と雨は間違いませんよね。だって猫は猫ですものね。間違いようがないですよね。
そもそもあの猫は松島さんのだって聞いたけど、違うの？違う。
私は猫なんて飼ってないもん。それでその猫にじゃなくて、どこの馬かわからない猫はどこに行ったの？
馬かわからない猫？松島さん、猫と雨の違いは分かって、猫と馬の違いがわからないの？
はあ、わかるに決まってんでしょ。馬と猫って全然違うじゃん。逆にどういう意味
？I think she's saying Uma, which is horse. Maybe it's a typo because they're saying holes, or maybe it's a like localization team or localization thing.
なんだかちょっとわからない。いろいろ。
Oh, really does look like a comfortable perch, doesn't it?
それで結局、その猫は松島さんのペットなの？
その猫って何？それってどれ？
それって頭の上に乗ってる、明らかに乗ってる猫。
The comfortably perched one.
もしそうだとしたら何なの？
学園で動物を飼うことは禁止されているはずだけど。
じゃあ違う。
じゃあ
ユミコ、あんたが見てるのは幻よ。この世に猫など存在しない。
I'm fairly sure cats do exist, actually.
いや、存在しない。この世には犬しか存在しない。
In an apparent attempt to protect her cat, Michiru begins to lay out a rather radical new theory. She's probably thinking Sakaki might talk to the administration and get the animal taken away from her.
そうでは100歩譲ってそれが猫じゃないとしたら頭の上に乗っているのは何？
今の私に言えることは全て幻だから本当はここには何もいません。見えているのは錯覚です。本来は姿もなければ音も聞こえないのです。
泣いたけど？
泣いてないでしょ。完全に泣いてないでしょ。
二度泣いたけど？
ああ、そうっすね。泣いたね。じゃ呪いだこりゃ。猫の呪いだわ。呪いで頭の上に猫がいるように見えるんだわ。ああ、急に頭が重くなってきたね。呪いってすごいわ。それじゃあ私はそろそろ時間なんで。
She just declared that cats don't exist, and now she's insisting on a cat curse. The word inconsistent itself is rendered meaningless in the face of this girl's irrationality. Michiru, my friend, if you're going to keep a pet cat, then at least try to be stealthy about it.
だから飼ってないってばただの呪いよくあるやつ。
Damn you. Right middle finger. The twitchy hands is back.
ご飯なの？ご飯なの？ちょっと待ってなさいよね。まったく。
That girl really does whatever she wants.
ねえ、風見くん。松島さん頭を強く打ったりした？
Haven't heard anything of the sort.
そう。これからもうちょっと優しく接してあげることにしようって今思った。強く思った。
And so, Michiru's more or less back to her old, energetic self. If anything, I think her incomprehensibility factor may even have increased slightly. I do understand. The girl's forcing out a show of cheerfulness to mask the continued instability of her emotions. And more simply, she's excited by her new pet. That said, no matter what the circumstances may be, this illusion and cat curse strategy strikes me as more than a little wince-worthy, even by Michiru's standards. Guess I'll see if Chizuru can get me the standard cat vaccines. There's no telling what sort of viruses or infections a stray might have picked up. In some cases, feline intestinal worms can infect human beings. Michiru's stomach is weak at the best of times, so a little caution seems warranted. I have to be careful about being too nice though. Don't need a certain capricious creature getting emotionally attached to me. There's only one truth, but the same facts will inevitably be interpreted in wildly different ways depending on the viewpoint of the observer. The winner writes the history books, and they always come out looking pretty good. If you're searching for the absolute truth, you've got no choice but to wade through various accounts with a critical eye, painstakingly piecing together a more neutral perspective. But even then, cleverly distorted information can often throw your puzzle into a confused jumble. So how about this? Instead of sifting through everything you can find, dramatically restrict your sources of information. Ignore the third parties entirely and talk only to those who are directly involved. In most cases, that's simply not practical. But every once in a great while, it's an effective strategy. Coming in.
あら、風見くんじゃない。どうしたの？何かよ。それとも私の顔が見たくなった？
Yes, I do, Chizuru. Yes, I do. No, I see your face in my dreams every night. A real nice expression on it too, if you know what I mean.
あの時ってどの時よ。
Okay, enough joking around. Sorry to barge in like this, but there was actually something I was hoping you could get from me.
冗談なのね。それでどうしたの？支給品だけじゃ心もとない仕事でもあるのかしら？
I do my job with the tools I'm given. This concerns my private life.
あなたがプライベートなんて言葉を使うとはね。
I'd like.
ちょっと驚きだ
Oh,
わ
sorry. I'd like you to get me a dose of combination vaccine for a cat. Can you do that?
猫？学校の敷地内を野良猫がうろうろしてると思ったら、あれ風見くんの猫？
I'm on a leash myself. Why would I do the same to an animal?
発信機でもつけて遊んでるのかと思ってね。
Anyway, I want to give that cat one of those 3-in-1 shots at the very least. And just for safety's sake, can you get it tested for the common diseases? I'll get a blood sample for you.
待ちなさい。誰のお金でやると思ってるの？そんな勝手が許されるわけないでしょ。
I mean, it shouldn't be too expensive, right? True enough, I guess.
でも相手は風見くんですものね。サービスして5種の混合ワクチンぐらいなら個人的に用意してあげましょう。それ以外は民間の動物病院でやってちょうだい。私はあなたと違って何でも屋さんじゃないのよ。
You're still a help. Appreciated. Alright then. I'll see you in my dreams. As I turn to leave, Chizuru grabs my arm to detain me.
ちょっと待ちなさい。もっと他に何か聞きたいことがあってわざわざここに来たんじゃないの？
Leaning back in her chair, Chizuru pushes her glasses up her nose with the tip of a finger. We may not have spent that much time together, but we've known each other long enough. The woman can see right through me at times. Well, it's not like I need to hide it, I suppose. It's about Michiru. The cat belongs to her, by the way.
松島さんね。そんなことだろうと思いました。それで風見くんは松島さんの何を知ってるの？
I've learned that she's an extremely moody woman. Also, she sleeps in a room saturated with the sugary smell of cheap, artificially colored candies.
ちょっと風見くん、部屋で松島さんに変なことしたわけじゃないでしょうね。
Nothing to worry about. I paid a brief visit because I had something to discuss with her. That's all.
だったらいいけど、問題になるような行動は慎みなさい。普通の学園生活が送りたいんでしょ？
Yes, normal.
それで問題のない範疇で松島さんのことを説明することはできるけど、どうする？
After all this wandering around following a trail of breadcrumbs, an unexpected bluebird arrives on the scene. Does Chizuru have the answers I've been looking for? Honestly, I'd be grateful. That said, you can't exactly email me your records, I assume.
当然ね。私はここだけの話なんて言葉は信じてないけど、風見くんなら信頼できるし。
Alright then, let me ask you something. Does Michiru...
ほら、猫には待ちなさい。中にワンタンくっついてるから、掘るから。あにゃにゃ。掘るから逃げないの。ずいぶん元気のいい猫なのね。それで？
But for some reason, I don't feel like asking Chizuru the question anymore. If anyone's going to tell me Michiru's story, it should be Michiru herself. Sorry. Don't think I need that explanation after all. Shouldn't be necessary, really. If Michiru needs my help in some way, I assume she'll come to me herself.
あら、そう。交換することに決めたのね。風見くんがそうしたいのなら、そうしましょう。
This would have been my stance on every girl, actually. This is the first time Yuji is not using any sort of outside information for any of the girls. Or for the girl. Sachi... he was leaning on JB. For Amane... I think, Did Amane tell him herself? I forgot. I know she gave the book, so... And Yuji was surprised, so I guess she did. Makina, we definitely got help from Chizuru and also JB, so both of them. I guess maybe this time... We're waiting, but Michiru's not gonna act? Sorry to waste your time. By asking Chizuru, I probably could have obtained a decent amount of new information. But when I remember Michiru quivering under her blanket, I think I made the right choice just now. I can't help but feel that learning about Michiru's background without her knowledge would be a betrayal of sorts. The next day? A few days later, after loading the vaccine Chizuru got me into a syringe, I decided to inoculate Michiru's mangy little cat. Problem being, the animal in question seems to despise me. Maybe it's picking up on the lingering scent of blood. Instinctive hostility against a fellow predator. Either way, it's a problem. Making a dog behave itself is comparatively easy. They're generally not used to heights, so plop it down on an elevated operating table, and it'll be too busy quaking with fear to trash around. But cats outright enjoy sharply differentiated terrain. Subduing a feline requires different methods. If you cover their eyes and hold them steady, they'll generally settle down. Same goes for most animals, really. That said, there's no point in covering the animal's head in a paper sack and suffocating it. Which leaves me with the most fundamental strategy of all, pure physical restraint. Flash.
なんだ？あれ、ユージじゃない。どうしたの？
Ah, so it's Amane. I see. Good timing, actually. Tell me, do you have a laundry net?
下着洗ったりするときに使うやつ？あるけど貸してほしいの？洗濯物なら私がやってあげるわよ。
No, I'll be using it myself. Don't worry about it.
なになに？もしかしてあれ？パンツとか洗ってもらうの恥ずかしいとか？
That's not the issue here. I need the net to minimize potential damage. Are you going to lend it to me or not?
ダメージって何よ？貸してあげるけどさ、そんな言い方しなくてもいいのに。はい、どうぞ。
Sorry. Appreciated.
それで何を選択するの？
I'm not washing anything. Alright, see you later.
どういうこと？もしかして、男性用ブラジャー？実はユージは噂のあれを日常的に使ってるけど、恥ずかしいからこっそり洗ってるとか？
Whatever, Amane. I'm getting the impression that I've left Amane with a fairly serious misunderstanding. But I have other priorities that take precedence right now. I can correct her delusions at a later date. Amane sure does love to gossip. Well then, even among trained veterinarians, many have difficulty handling cats. Strays in particular tend to bite and claw. Need to be careful. Taking a pinch of silver vine powder from my pocket, I rub a little onto my fingertips. You're around here, aren't you? Come on out. I make a conspicuous rustling sound with a bag of powder, and before long, the cat wanders out of the brush to investigate. I bend down and hold out my hand. Most cats have a habit of sniffing at fingertips when they're made available. The black cat isn't particularly fond of me, but the scent of the powder does its work. It walks up cautiously, bringing its nose to my fingers. And in that instant, your fate was sealed. Taking advantage of the cat's momentary carelessness, I pluck it up off the ground by the scruff of its neck and toss it into the laundry net I bought from Amane. Some would doubtless take exception to the strategy from the perspective of animal welfare, but I planned this out fairly carefully to ensure the least possible risk of lasting harm to the creature. As for those of you who still have complaints, I'll listen once you've liberated every pet on Earth from their collars and converted America to the vegan diet. What the heck? Until then, surely you have better things to be worried about. Calm yourself, animal. I mean no harm. It's a simple vaccination. Sometimes there are side effects, but rarely worse than a high fever. You won't die. Trust me. That's right. Go limp. Not like you can escape anyway. Here goes. I take out a nylon cosmetics pouch from my pocket. Naturally, there's no makeup inside. This just happened to be ideally sized to conspicuously store a certain pen-shaped syringe. Taking out the item in question, I carefully jab the needle into my furry foe's flank. Good boy. Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Relax.
猫にゃーに何してる
What?
ちょっとユージあんたね動物虐待は良くないわよ
Damn, I was completely off guard. To think I'd let you, of all people, take my back. The disgrace is unbearable. Go ahead, kill me.
殺さないけどね殺しませんけどうちの子いじめないでよね
Apparently agitated by the arrival of its owner, the black cat violently rips open the net and leaps to freedom.
シャーシャーほらこの子こんなに怒ってるじゃない何したのよまったく
Nothing bad. Don't worry about it.
網で捕まえて気にするなってそんな言い訳が通用すると思ってるの今度やったらただじゃ置かないからねにゃにゃにゃにゃ
For some reason, I find myself answering Michiru's questions with a cosmetic bag and syringe held behind my back. Yeah, I get the message. Sorry about that. Convey my apologies to your cat as well.
私の猫なんかじゃないけどねさあ行くわよ猫にゃにゃ
Seems I've reinforced the cat's enmity toward me. Haven't done myself many favors in Michiru's book either. In retrospect, I might as well have told her the truth. But the words just didn't come out. Why? Maybe I've been spending too much time around the girl. Her pseudo-tsundere seem like it might be rubbing off on me slightly. Well, that's all well and good. But what do I do about this net?
風見さんどうも
Damn you, Amane! You see an Amane around?
はいはい見ました
I'd appreciate if you told me where she is.
あそうですねお部屋に戻って行かれましたよ
I see. Guess I'll head over there.
風見さん私がこんなことを言うのもおこがましいとは承知していますが聞いてください
What?
私は風見さんはどんな風見さんでも風見さんだと思っていますそれに男性がブラジャーをしていても変に見られる時代ではありませんむしろごく自然です逆につけてない方が変ですよね
You don't have to change your way of thinking just to accommodate me, Sachi. I see. So that's what this is about.
はいできればカップ数などを教えていただければ私が風見さんにぴったりのブラジャーを用意させていただきますがアンダーとトップのわかるかなそのアンダーっていうのはですねトップバストと
Listen, Sachi. That was a misunderstanding of Amani's. Pure fantasy. There's no truth to what you're imagining.
はい忘れますですが忘れないでくださいこの小峰幸風見さんがどんな風見さんでも尊敬しております
I see. Nice to hear. I have to admit, though, the look of pain, determination in your eyes and the way you're chewing your lower lip leave me with slightly mixed feelings.
この小峰幸風見さんがどのような
What a joke. Forget it, Sachi.
はいそうさせていただきます
Amani, you in there?
ああユージ何どうしたの
The net I borrowed from you ended up getting torn to shreds. Sorry about that. I'll get you an equivalent replacement later.
いやそれは気にしなくていいのよだってほらね男性用ともなるとワイヤーが強いやつ使ってるかもしれな
What
いし
is
ね
wrong with you people? And why would a male guy even need a brazier? Like what? I guess people do have man boobs, but Yuji is clearly athletic, Amane. Are you crazy?
ネットが切れちゃうこともあるわよね
I don't wear a bra.
そんなこと言ってないじゃない私がさもユージがブラをつけてると思ってるみたいな言い方やめてよね
God, I actually choked on my own spit. Fuck you, Amane. The fuck? But you do.
思ってます。ねえ、何カップ？つけ心地は？
I'm telling you, I don't wear a bra, woman.
いいの。だから隠さなくていいから。ね、ね。
I grab Amane's hand and push it firmly against my chest. What do you think?
熱い胸板。
That's not what I'm asking. Does it feel like I'm wearing a bra?
つけてないです。
Glad we've come to an understanding. I'll be going now.
逆につけたくなったら私が選んであげるからね。
What is wrong with these people? For crying out loud, there are countless varieties of awkward misunderstandings in the world. This one has really distinguished itself on the mentally draining scale. Like a cheap LCD screen, the truth changes color based on your perspective. Best to view it from a fixed angle. Find a few sources you can trust and stick to them. Even actions you take with the best of intentions can be easily warped through misinterpretation into strange misdeeds. Happens every day, in fact. I sink into the sofa and heave a heavy sigh. A certain playwright once wrote that any sorrow is tempered if you have a friend to share it. And there's a long-standing British proverb to the effect of, wine and friends only get better with age. But is there any truth to these claims? I'm not so sure myself. Let's say you set out on a trip, lugging around a few bags. You'll probably experience some level of anxiety about them being lost or stolen, right? In that case, wouldn't it have been more pleasant to bring nothing at all? All the more so if you were carrying something truly precious. Isn't it better to lock the things you treasure away in a safe box? Or perhaps not to treasure anything in the first place? I'm sitting in the lobby indulging in some after-dinner reading when Amane walks up with Makina in tow. I lift my eyes from the summer of doors and ask if they need something.
実はね、ちょっと言いにくいんだけど、私明日から帰省することになってたのよ。それをユージに伝えるのすっかり忘れちゃってて。
Nothing wrong with using summer vacation to see your family. I don't see any reason you should apologize to me.
そうなんだけど、ほら、ユージにご飯とか作ってあげたりもしてたでしょ。ああいうのできなくなっちゃうからさ。
Not a problem. As long as I have beans to eat, I won't die.
君はそれでいいかもしれないけど、私が心配なのよ。ちゃんと栄養のあるもの食べないと大きくなれないわよ。
Are you serious? Do you not look at Yuji's physique, Amane? Are you making light of the nutritive qualities of beans, woman?
してないけど、偏るのは良くないじゃない。何事もバランスよく。給食は三角に食べなさいって教わらなかった？
Everyone learns about that, Amane, but when it comes to actual food in the real world, people don't think shit about that. Piecing together your meals from all the groups, right? Pretty sure they retired that as too inflexible and restrictive as a guideline.
そうなの？でもね、私が言いたいことはバランスが重要ってことなのよ。
I see. Well, don't worry about it. I think I'll get by one way or the other. You okay, Makina? Now that I look, Makina's latched onto Imani's sleeve. Her small shoulder is trembling. Combined with her diminutive frame, she looks remarkably like a lost child at the moment. What's wrong, Makina? You not broken up over Imani leaving for a while? I know you two are practically sisters, but...
違うのよ。お兄ちゃんと会えなくなるのが寂しいのよさ。
Hmm? What do you mean by that? Amane gently strokes Makina's head a few times, then gives me an exaggerated shrug of the shoulders.
やっぱりこの子を置いていけないじゃない。だから一緒に連れて行こうと思って。
Oh, how admirable. You're an exemplary guardian, you know that? Those idiots who get caught up playing basketball and forget their children in the car could learn a thing or two from you.
アマネと一緒なのは嬉しいけど、お兄ちゃんと離れるのは悲しいのよ。幸
ちるは？
みちるって誰？ちょっと待ちなさいよね。あたしでしょ、あたし。にゃー。こいつか。いや、ちょっとよくわかんないからいいです。
いいですってどういうこと？ねえ、ノーコメントってこと？ちょっとなんで無視なのよ。まあまあ、きっとみちると会えなくなるのが寂しいのよ。だからこうして強がってるのよね。
Sure.
すっごく不満そうに返事したけど。ところでこれ何の話？
The girl must have heard her name in passing and reflexively inserted herself into the conversation. The ability to talk for that long without a clue about the topic could be called a sort of talent in its own right. True. The more impressive feat here is the total lack of comment regarding the cat perched on Michiru's head. But that one's less attributable to Michiru's talents than our well-honed ignoring skills. Seems Amane is going home as of tomorrow, and she's taking Makina with her.
そうなの。せいぜい気をつけ。嘘！みちるには先週言ったじゃない。ユージには伝え忘れてたけど。ああ、そういえばそんな話聞いてないわよ。いやいや、ちゃんと言ったでしょ。どうせ話半分で聞いてたとかじゃないの？そうかな。そうなのかな。それでマキナも一緒に行くと？
ああ、せやで。
そうなの。まあ数日ぐらい楽しめばいいんじゃないのかしらね。2週間よ。2週間？
チルチル、そういうわけだからお兄ちゃんをよろしく頼むのよ。
ユージのことなんて知らないんだからね。
Don't worry, Michiru, I got Sachi with me.
それじゃあ私たちは準備があるからまたね。
ほんなね。
まあいいわ。ちょっと量が寂しくなるけど仕方ないものね。他のみんなとその分楽しく過ごせばいいわ。
Just as the words are leaving Michiru's mouth, Sachi passes by the lobby, sweeping the passage with vigorous movements of her broom.
あ、サーチ、いいところに来たわね。ちょっとカミング、I'm coming.
I don't think that's right, Michiru, but alright. Betraying no surprise at this disturbing greeting, Sachi carefully leans her broom against the wall before trotting over to us. Consensuous as always.
はい、みちる様、何かご用でしょうか。そしてI'm comingは若干いかがなものかと。
なんで？まあそんなことはいいのよ。ご用なのよ。実は明日から天音とマキナが帰省するらしいの。あんた知ってる？
Oh,
はい、
sorry.
私もそのように聞いております。
よし。それでちょっと寂しくなるからパーティーグッズの一つでも用意しておいてくれないかなって思って。
なるほど、パーティーグッズですか。鼻とひげがついてるメガネであるとか、三角のおどけた帽子であるとかの楽しげなグッズですね。
そうあれよ。ああいうのがあるとね、意外に盛り上がるもんなのよ。イエーイバッファローゲームなんつってさ。
The fuck is a buffalo game?
はい、では鼻ひげメガネはダックスープ社のブルーチョくん4号をご用意させていただきます。
数は人数分でよろしくね。私とユージとあんたとユミコ。
お言葉ですが、みちる様。
何よ、お金なら払うわよ。その辺をむにゃむにゃにすると後で揉めるって分かってるんだからね。
いえ、そういった若干の生臭い話ではなくてですね、実は私も明日から親戚の家に泊まり込みをすることになっておりまして、ですから3つで十分かと。
Damn you, God! In a different timeline would be having a date right now, Sachi. Damn you!
そうなの？なんで？
いろいろと込み入った事情がありますが、一言で表現しますと、頼まれたからです。
そうだったら仕方ないわよね。頼まれたら断れないものね。分かったわ。
ふう、じゃあ3人でゆっくりと羽を伸ばすとしましょうね。
2 sets should be plenty, Sachi. I'm not going to partake.
なんですぐに2つで十分って言いたがるのよ。もう予備も含めて多くあった方がいいでしょ。4枚を頼み申す。
それで結局いくつ用意すればよろしいのでしょうか。
4個。
2.
はい、では2つ用意させていただきます。
Guess I'm top of the hierarchy, Michiru.
今何らかの上下関係を踏まえて判断した。
みちる様、物事には必ず優先順位というものが存在しますので。ですが最初にきちんと4個用意しますが、そのうちの2個を持ってきます。ほらねみちる様、これで安心。
確かに最初に私の言い分が守られてるならそれはそれでいいかもね。
はい、ではお買い物に行ってまいります。
Seems like it's going to get a good bit quieter around here.
まあね。でもさすがにこの広い寮に2人っきりってわけにはならないから大丈夫よ。由美子がいるもんね。って由美子がまあ由美子でもいないよりはマシか。
旅行の準備もこれで終わりと。
With beautiful timing, Sakaki enters stage left with an enormous suitcase. An overseas vacation, perhaps. Michiru watches in utter shock, her mouth flopping in a manner strongly reminiscent of a stunned trout. Huh? You're taking a vacation as well, Sakaki.
そう、明日から。だってずっとここにいたら息が詰まっちゃうもの。2週間だからすぐに帰ってくるわ。
あぐぐぐ。
あら、どうかしたの松島さん。
どうもしてないです。
明日には出発だから今日は早く寝なくちゃ。
Michiru, my friend. Seems like it's going to be just you and me for a while.
そうね。あなたと2人きりなんてごめんだけどね。そもそもね、一つ屋根の下で年頃の男女が過ごすなんて異常なのよね。
In that case, should I leave as well? If you're feeling anxious, I wouldn't hesitate to lodge at my workplace for a while. Don't want to make you uncomfortable.
いや、いいわよ別に。その代わり変なことしたら承知しないからね。
2 weeks isn't too long. If you find yourself unbearably anxious, I recommend simply holding up in your room until the others return. I'm sure you'll be able to handle a little solitary confinement.
もういいのよ。いいからもう黙ってなさい。
As I'm setting out for my daily marathon the next morning, I discover a strange little scene. Michiru's skulking around the area in a blatantly suspicious fashion. She scuttles around the courtyard, keeping low and hugging the wall like a cockroach, shooting cautious glances all around her. Even for her, this is fishy behavior. In particular, the black hat riding on her head adds a distinctly surreal flavor. I'm sincerely glad the girl was born well past the witch hunting era. I decided to observe in an effort to determine her objective.
静かになさいねこにゃ。にゃー。だから今はちょっとそれどころじゃないの。さささささささささささささささ。
What's she even doing up at this hour? I did once observe her heading for the sea around this time, but I'm pretty sure she was looking for her cat. And at the moment, the animal in question is firmly perched on top of her head. In other words, there's something else going on here. Perhaps. The strange behavior might not be the usual Michiru. I don't mean that in a figurative sense. Maybe the other Michirus emerged. The exact nature of this little ceremony is unclear to me. which is wandering around the area restlessly making freakish little noises. The girl's never exactly normal, but this is particularly odd. Might it be the other one after all? Michiru, my friend. Impressive vertical. Michiru jerks up into the air with a shriek of surprise, retreating a good meter in a single bound.
Kazami Yuji, なぜここに?
Right back at you, Matsushima Michiru. What are you doing up at this hour?
それはあれだ。風見裕二、私は外の風に当たりたくてここに来たのだよ。
There's no wind today.
むふなんちゃって。それじゃあ私塾があるんで。
Hole? Cram school at 5 in the morning? Very zealous. What's the name of this early bird educational facility, if I might ask?
朝5時ゼミナール。略して5ゼミ、あるいは朝ナール。
So that's a lie, right?
嘘です。
Then what's really going on here?
なんでもないの。本当になんでもないんです。だから許してください。帰ってください。
Well, this certainly isn't the normal Michiru, but it doesn't feel much like the other one either. Don't tell me this is the arrival of Michiru 3.
お願いします、風見さん。ここから早く立ち去ってください。ここ危険なんです。だから早く。
Try telling me what's so dangerous. If I'm convinced, I'll do as you say.
もし地震が来たら揺れるし、そう、すげえ揺れるし、震度によってはびっくりするぐらい揺れるし。
It'll do more than just shake my socks off, Michiru. That applies equally anywhere. Anything else?
あと、火事の時は燃えるし、親父がすげえ燃えるし、たくさんの親父がすげえ燃えるし。
We're getting nowhere. I think it's time to explore alternate strategies. Or should I going straight to the point? Tell me why you're really out here. And who are you?
私
Who you
は
are?
私でしょ。何言ってるのよ。もうだからペペペ。
Did she like spit at me? Good lord. She starts spewing saliva in my general direction. Is this really the way young women act these days?
ペペペペ。ほら猫にゃも。
Cease this disgraceful waste of bodily fluids immediately, maggot. Even if the god of hydration forgives you, I never will.
だって本当に帰ってほしいんだもん。
What is she doing? Her strong front quickly crumbles into a cramped, desperate grimace. The girl looks about ready to burst into tears. I suppose withdrawing would be the gentlemanly thing to do at this point. Or even slightly before it, honestly. Alright, understood. In that case, I'll be...
いいから帰りなさいよ。ノー挨拶ノーライフ。
right. Alright then. See you later.
だからなんで挨拶すんだよバカ。
But in the end, that behavior was simply too unnatural to ignore. I temporarily return as far as the courtyard, but soon double back to observe Michiru from a distance. Beginning from a prostrate position, I advance with a standard GSDF low crawl to the vicinity of my target. As if choosing a sniping point, I move to a location that affords good visibility of the scene while providing me with optical cover. Alright, this should do nicely. My view of the scene is unobstructed, and I have a clear escape route secured. An ideal observation spot.
まったくなんでこんなタイミングで。
What is she doing? Even as she wanders around complaining about me, Michiru's petting the cat on top of her head. An abnormally dexterous woman, if nothing else.
みちる様、お待たせしました。
This pattern is interrupted by the unexpected arrival of Sachi. Does she have some knowledge of Michiru's secret purpose?
そんなに大声出さないでよ。
すみません。では
それはほら、ちょっと待って、深呼吸してから。
The hell? The item? Seems to be a bartering session of some kind. I heard that dedicated smugglers are a common phenomenon in prison. Does the same system exist in the school?
にょにょにょね。
Huh?
みちる様、落ち着いてください。大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫よ。モロチンよ。モロチンよ。あれ、モロチンよ。
You don't have to say that 3 times, Michiru.
落ち着いてください。もちろんですよね。それだと卑猥な単語を連発している欲求不満 OL 京子の淫乱ブログみたいですよ。
Who's Kyoko, Sachi?
誰よ、京子って。
わかりません。榊さんのブックマークで見たところなので、
Okay.
京子の素性までは。
そうこで、こんな時間に呼び出して悪かったわね。
はい、大丈夫ですよ。それで頼まれていた品物をご用意しましたので。
そう、それで
Shocking. To think I'd catch my own classmates red-handed. For the sake of their futures, it would be best to stop this now. Nice try, punks. An unregistered gun deal on my beat? You got some nerve. Hands behind your head and kneel. Sachi falls to her knees on the dirt as instructed. I walk up behind and wedge her thighs apart with my foot. Alright, no funny business. Spread those legs.
はい、開きます。
Not in that sense, Sachi.
ちょっと、なんであんたがいるわけ。もう帰ったんじゃないの。
Silence! You're 10 years too young to be dabbling in black market weapon sales, you rank amateur. Hurry up and kiss the dirt.
誰が闇取引よ。そんなことするわけないでしょ。
Huh? But Sachi's obediently following my instructions, isn't she?
それはいつものことじゃない。
Now that you mention it, so she does. But if guns aren't involved, that would leave a drug deal? Alright. A methamphetamine test seems warranted. Methamphetamine. There we go. Stay where you are while we wait for the kits. Prepare for a urine test.
はい。
はいじゃないでしょ。どっちでもないわよ。合法なことしかしてません。
Is what she says true, Sachi?
はい。みちる様も私も非合法なことはしていません。
I see. Sorry about that. You can raise your head now.
はい。実はみちる様に雑誌を購入してくるように頼まれたんです。しかも受け渡しはきっかり5時にこの場所でと。
Magazine? Hell?
余計なこと言わなくていいのよ。
Buying a magazine? Surely you can handle that much on your own, Michiru. Oh, my voice.
いや、そうなんだけど、
何でも意識したら買えなくなってしまったようです。
Is it like a porn magazine or something? Awkward. What's awkward about it? Explain.
これが頼まれたものです。
やめなさい。
I take the magazine from Sachi. The cover is a nauseatingly sparkly abomination featuring the prominent headline, Beloved Beret Beautification, an outfit straight from the marvelous military. Huh? What is this thing? Okay, forget the rest for now. First things first, I need to annihilate this company.
倒しますか？手で行きますか？
That sounds about right. Bare knuckle justice. Alright, Sachi, let's go. We're gonna bring down that company with our fists.
はい、手で。
待ちなさい。どこに行くのよ。まだ5時よ。
Oh, true. A lapse in judgment on my part. Well then, what's this rag supposed to be?
みちる様がユージって 女の子がどんな服着てたら喜ぶのかしらねと私に相談してくださったんです。私はいろいろ考えました。デザインよりも機能性を重視したアイテムを好む風見さんですから、きっとミリタリー系が好きなんじゃないかと。
それ以上は。
こういった雑誌があることは知識として持っていたので買ってきたわけです。ですが人に見られたくないということで、その結果が今の早朝取引です。
はい。
でも風見さん本人がこうしてやってきたのですから、もう雑誌は必要ありませんね。直接聞けば解決ではありませんか。
はい。
風見さん、女の子の服で好きなものってありますか？
Me personally, I don't think so, but I don't know about Yuji. Not particularly.
なるほど。みちる様、これと言ってないそうですよ。答えが分かってよかったですね。
はい。どうもありがとうございました。
では私は出発の準備がありますので失礼いたします。
Her face bright red, Michiru bites her lower lip and quivers visibly. I don't quite understand the situation. She also seems to be perspiring heavily. Stomachache, perhaps? Michiru, my friend.
なんですか？お腹は痛くないですよ。
That a fact?
はい。
Utter silence. Michiru refuses to even make eye contact. Michiru, let me ask you something.
なんですか？
What exactly is a beloved beret?
うるさいわね。そんなの知らないわよ。あんたのために雑誌見て参考にしたりとか、そんなんじゃないからね。本当にそんなんじゃないんだからね。ペペペペ。
The marvelous military, is it? I pick up the abandoned magazine and jot down the address of a certain rotten publisher with insufficient respect for the gravity of military affairs. A few hours thereafter, everyone who's leaving for summer vacation gathers in the courtyard outside the dorm.
それじゃユージ、あとはよろしくね。
お兄ちゃん、お土産いっぱい持ってくるからね。
2 weeks just with Michiru, huh? This will be an awkward 2 weeks.
私は日記以外の八つ橋なら何でもいいわよ。わかったのよさ。うるさい金髪ね。
ちょっとマキナ、これから出かけるんだから喧嘩しないの。
だって私じゃないのよ。こいつがうだうだ言うから。言ってないでしょ。そんなに感じ悪かった？いや、まあいいけどさ。それじゃあ行ってくるのよさ。
What's your back out there?
寂しいだろうけど、なんとか我慢してね。
After throwing a kiss, the girl saunters off. Makina follows in her wake. The Remora to Amane's shark.
それでは私もそろそろ失礼させていただきます。あの雑誌はお役に立ちましたでしょうか？
わあ、それはもうとっても役に立ったからね。だからもうね、早く行ってらっしゃい。
早く。みちる様、お部屋の掃除でお困りになりましたらご連絡ください。この小峰幸、一旦この地に戻り次第みちる様の部屋の掃除を遂行。その後また戻らせていただきます。
I don't think you need to do that, Sachi.
早い。そんなことしなくていいから、ゆっくりしてきて、ゆっくり。
はい、わかりました。では行ってまいります。もちろんお土産も用意しますからね。
Not to worry, Sakaki. I don't need any souvenirs.
何よその言い方。私だってちゃんと買ってくる常識ぐらいあります。
I guess that's the Japanese way. For me personally, I actually don't buy souvenirs when I go somewhere.
由美子のお土産ってどんなの？
どんなのって至って普通よ。暗闇で光る骸骨のキーホルダーとかそういうの。
Sounds pretty normal.
でしょ？だから心配しなくていいのよ。いいタペストリー買ってくるから。それじゃ。
Can you get me a Sachi's tapestry? Damn you! Damn you! Grisaia merch nowadays is so hard to buy, damn it. Michiru, your room was pretty dreary, come to think of it.
そんなことないでしょ。私の部屋にタペストリー飾らせようとしないでよ。それでしょ、あの観光地で売ってる変な三角のやつ。
変？
粋なやつ欲しいな。5枚ぐらい欲しいな。
松島さんに6枚と。それじゃ。
Good for you. Sakake's got a kind side, doesn't she? Seems like she's going to buy you one more than requested.
とっさに適当なこと言わなきゃよかった。
Alright, might as well head back to the dorm. We'll be alone for a while, but there's no reason that has to disrupt our normal When I turned my gaze on Michiru, I discovered that her cheeks have flushed an alarming shade of red. Running a temperature, perhaps. What's wrong? Again with the sudden fevers? We should really consider seeing a doctor.
大丈夫。そうね。普段と変わらずに行きましょう。よろしく。
Fine. Really? You're acting pretty strangely considering.
おかしくないもん。じゃあ、私先に部屋に帰ってるわね。それじゃあ。
With those words, Michiru clumped off into the dorm in a repeat of her imitation goose-stepping march. At the time, I thought it a fairly casual conversation, but that was a misjudgment on my part. Michiru spent the rest of the day holed up in her room. That wasn't too alarming, but the exact same thing happened the next day. Struck me as odd still. I figured the girl had her reasons. In the end, Michiru didn't even show her face until a little after noon on the third day. Well, that was awkward. I'm lounging around reading a young adult novel by the name of Bunbun Dunquino when I spot Michiru out of the corner of my eye. She's hovering awkwardly at the edge of the lobby. Her voice is too quiet for an attempt at getting my attention. Perhaps I should just ignore her. Then again, she's finally left her room for the first time in days, so I suppose basic social etiquette would dictate approaching her on my own initiative. What's wrong, Michiru? Need something? My greeting was somewhat abrupt, but Michiru's response with an instant shriek of rejection. Pretty impressive reflexes. Reflexives? Reflexives? I guess that is a word. I see. In that case, I'll return to my reading.
そうじゃなくて、
If she's got something to say, why not just spit it out? It's never easy with this girl. After 3 full days shut up in her room, this is all she has to say? What's her deal anyway? Not that I really care, so long as she doesn't interrupt my reading. I find a page where I left off and return to the world of fiction. But soon enough, I'm emphatically ejected from that pleasant refuge. Specifically, she slaps the book out of my hands. I could have dodged, but decided it best to allow the girl to do as she pleases.
ちょっと君、何考えてるの？
At the moment, I'm thinking about picking up the book that just fell to the floor.
そうじゃないでしょ。どういうこと？何あの態度？何なの？バカなの？偉そうにしちゃって。もしかして大王気取り？あれか。ダメつもりか。いい夢、イカ気分か。
You finally show yourself. I'd really like to know who you are this time.
なんで言わせるの？私は私でしょ？ねえ、そこ座っていい？
Michiru points next to where I'm sitting, then roughly drops down before I can say a word in response. You don't like that? Then how about this too? Attitude reminds me of a combined forces assault.
でね、ユージ君。君ね、女心分かってないな。
Sounds like it's going to be a lengthy discussion. Maybe I should make some coffee first.
いらない。でもね、知ってる？この子はさっき声かけるまでに何十回も部屋で練習してたのよ。でも結局緊張でできなかった。なんでかわかる？
Insufficient effort on her part, clearly. Guess she'd better practice more.
違う。全然違う。そういうことじゃないよね。つまりさ、緊張してドキドキして声がかけられなかったわけ。
Why feel nervous at this point? We're hardly strangers, and we already cleared up the unpleasantness between us. Surely there's nothing to feel awkward about.
君がそうでもこの子はそうじゃない。だから女心がわかんないって言われるの。
I really don't think that's true.
何を言っても分かってくれなそうだから担当を直入一発必中で伝えます。ちゃんと聞いて。
Fine. Spare me the attitude and just say it already. After a light snap of the fingers, Michiru earnestly rests her hand on top of my thigh.
デートしてほしい。この子。
Date, eh? You'll need to elaborate. I don't understand why I should go on a date with you.
だから私じゃないってば。この子。分かった？それで君から誘ってくれない？
Hold on a second. Why do I have to go on a date with Michiru? And even if I did have some obligation along those lines, I don't understand why it matters that I propose the idea.
わかんないの？わかるでしょ。
An expression of genuine surprise on her face, Michiru peers into my eyes.
この子が恥ずかしがりだからよ。それに怖いのよ。もし断られたら今後どう接していいかわからないじゃない。
What, she's never been turned down before?
そうじゃなくてデート自体したことないよ。少なくとも私が見てるうちはそんなことは一回もなかった。だからね、誘って。
I refuse. Yeah, me too. I would refuse in his shoes too. Like, what the hell? Just because a girl likes me doesn't mean I have to like the girl back, you know? If I don't reciprocate the feelings.
なんで？
In answer to Michiru's predictable response, I clear my throat and begin to explain. Why do you get to decide this? If Michiru really wants me to date her, she can try saying so herself. Moving things along while she isn't here strikes me as meddling.
こんなに説明しても分かってくれないなんて。本当に頭カッチカチですね。
You think? Personally, I think holding a conversation with something like you demonstrates a fair degree of mental flexibility.
うるさい。そうやっていつまでも長々と説明してればいいじゃない。はいはい、わかりましたよ。そうですか、そうですか。
Michiru stands from her seat and flaps her hands around in an exaggerated gesture of exasperation.
本当に君ってめんどくさい人。
Not sure if you're one to be talking, little Miss Trouble. Keeping the thought to myself, I pick up the fallen paperback book and search for the page I'd left off on. Previously, Michiru told me she found it frightening to have problems solved behind her back. I'm not about to start agreeing to secret plans for her benefit. Running my eyes along the printed lines, I return to enjoying the story. But after a little while, I once again feel the gaze of a certain someone on my face. Her voice clearly came out louder and higher in pitch than she expected. With a surprise little start, she takes it from the top.
あのね、
What's wrong? The usual Michiru?
いつもの？そうよ、いつものミチルよ。別に貴重なんてしてないんだからね。
Not quite what I meant, but whatever.
あのね、暇でしょ？あんたさ、暇よね。
I flapped the book in my hand in her general direction. I'm reading.
あ、いや、そうじゃなくて、ほら、暇でしょ？退屈でしょ？退屈だから本を読んでるんでしょ？
Not really. You do know I enjoy books, right? Even if I were to run out of reading material and find myself with nothing else to do, I'd be perfectly content rereading a book from the beginning.
じゃあ別の聞き方。あんたさ、忙しくて仕方ない？もうやることが多くて即死。
I'm having a hard time imagining how one could become busy to the point of instant death. But either way, I can't say my plate is particularly full at the moment.
でしょ？そうよね、そうだよね。私もさ、そう言うと思ってね。うんだよね。実はね、私も忙しくないのよね。逆に暇なのよ。これすごくない？こんな広い世界にそんなに忙しくもない2人が出会うなんて奇跡じゃない？
You suck at this, Michiru. Sure, that's nice. Alright, I'm going back to my book now.
ちょっと待って、そういうことじゃなくてね。つまりさ、だからさ、せっかく寮に2人きりなんだし、奇跡的なほどの忙しくなささだし、こういつもと違うことしてもいいんじゃないかって。
You suck at this, man. Not necessary. Alright, I'm going to get back to my book now.
ちょっと待って。だからね、ほらね、ダメか。これダメか。
Oh, sorry.
わかった。寝ます。帰って寝ます。
Michiru's so transparently desperate that I can't help feeling a little sympathy. I suppose it couldn't hurt to play along with the girls' games. But hold on. I think you know I do a regular training course every morning. But tomorrow, I was thinking about doing a little running later on as well. What do you think? Want to come along on a little afternoon marathon?
行く。
A fearsomely rapid response.
いや、別に行きたいわけじゃないんだからね。でも、そうだ、スケジュール調べないと。ほら、予定が入ってるかもしれないし。
Michiru, are you serious? Michiru turns her back to me and begins rustling around furtively. What, you've got a day planner on you?
うせはね、こっち見ないでよね。スケジュールの確認に忙しいんだから。
Mind if I take a look?
いいから待ってて、今確認中。
Michiru pretends to tap buttons on a calculator. Apparently, this is her idea of what checking a schedule involves. Well, managed to adjust your schedule? Any conflicting appointments?
なかった。
I see. In that case, be in front of the school gate at 1 in the afternoon tomorrow. I'll take you along with me.
いや、そうね。わかったわ。あんた遅れたら承知しないからね。浮かれてる的な意味じゃなくて、時間厳守的な意味のみで承知しないからね。
Fine, sure, whatever.
それじゃあんたがそこまで言うなら仕方ないから明日。
Michiru, I don't recall begging...
何も言わなくていいから。危ない。
What was close?
いいからね、仕方ないから明日行くからね。それじゃあ。
And so, it was agreed that Michiru would join in my training. I was planning a fairly long distance course though. Wonder if she'll be alright.
や
Also, I don't remember saying a word about a date. The next day, I get out of bed at 4:45 a.m. as usual, and after some quick preparations, head outside for my early morning jog. But as I emerge into the lobby, I hear a strange clattering sound from Michiru's room upstairs. I haven't heard anything about the girl tossing and turning in her sleep. Wonder if something happened. Well, guess it's nothing worth worrying about. At my normal time, I run my normal distance at my normal pace. Nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. But such regularity is precisely the point of a routine course like this. I understand that, Yuji. I also have a very strict routine about my physical exercise. I head back to my room, take a light shower to rinse off my sweat, boil my beans, and have my breakfast. While masticating steadily away, I ponder a certain philosophical dilemma. Do beans have emotions? The fuck? Some claim that cacti can sense human feelings. What then of the bean? They don't scream when you boil them. But perhaps some among them know how to use their bean. Plants might be aware of the world in their own unknowable way. Under such a hypothesis, even vegetarians would be monstrous mass murderers, brandishing their cruel, shining knives. They gruesomely flay innocent carrots, chop their bodies into sections, and then consume them to the core. Perhaps we should put a price on the head of those habitually cornflake-crunching serial killers. Yuji, stop wasting time with pointless things, damn it. Oh my god. Come to think of it, my stocks are depleted. Your thoughts are just full of random shit, Yuji. What the fuck? This is no time to be thinking up idiotic puns. Without Sachi and Imani around, I have no one to rely on for the procurement of my foodstuffs but myself. Suppose I'll take a quick break and then head to the supermarket. Feeling the calm mid-morning sunlight on my skin, I'm almost tempted to set off for another run before my afternoon training. But there's no point to excessive exercise unless you're a masochist who finds pleasure in making your body scream. Or you want to be shredded, Yuji. I am definitely in that category. Of course, the act of running can be pleasant in its own right. I myself sometimes head out for a jog merely to change my mood. It's just a matter of moderation. I make my way back to the dorm, bags full of beans in both hands. I bought in bulk today. If I had slightly more goodness in my heart, I could probably get every small furry animal in a 3-mile radius through the winter with these. Then again, receiving a mountain of nuts outside my room in the spring from my grateful forest friends would be a serious nuisance. I think I'll consume these beans on my own. With this much in stock, my basic needs should be met for some time. What on earth is that? There's a woman acting strangely in front of our gate. She digs into the ground with her tiptoes for a moment, only to abruptly twirl around in a circle on the spot. Don't tell me that's Michiru. What on earth is that girl doing? I sincerely doubt the outside world will prove nearly so tolerant of her peculiar taste in headwear as we have. I did tell her to tag along in my afternoon training. They're still a good 3 hours away. What's her objective here? Tell me, Michiru, what exactly are you doing out here? After this undignified shriek of surprise, Michiru stares at me with a blank, dumbstruck expression. From all appearances, she seems to be in a state of shock. Is there something wrong with the girl? It's only clear now that I've approached her, but she has numerous bandages on her fingertips. Don't tell me that mangy cat bit her and passed on some strange disease. I did vaccinate the thing, but maybe it was too late. Hello? Do you recognize me? Pull yourself together.
あんた待った
Say what?
だから待ったって聞いてるのよ。ごめんなさいね。ちょっとのんびりしちゃったかしら。ははははは。
An improbable theory pushes its way into my mind. Please, don't tell me she's seriously come to our meeting place a full 3 hours early.
どうしたのよねえそんな顔して
Michiru, my friend, it's still a good 3 hours before the arranged time. When asked, did you wait long, I can only respond no. In fact, I hadn't even begun.
あらそうそれはよかったわふふ
Is this girl even hearing what I'm saying to her? Okay, Michiru, listen carefully. I'm just coming back from shopping at the supermarket by the station, and my training isn't for hours. I wasn't waiting for you, and I'm not going to yet. Oh, and I'm not going yet.
どういうことえ
Can you seriously not understand this? My supermarket bag still dangling from both hands. I stand there dumbfounded. The girl's completely off in her own little world.
あ何それトレーニング用の豆
Michiru peers into my plastic bags with a face full of confusion. Beans have nothing to do with training. Listen, I'm going to head back to my room to drop these off, so just stay where you are for now. Guess there's no helping it. I'll bring my schedule forward somewhat.
ごめんなさいねなんだか私が早く来たみたいになっちゃって
Almost. Like. Well, whatever. Incidentally, we'll be running on a road used by civilians, so remove the cap before we go.
猫
Yes, the one on your cranium.
柱にああ本当だ猫にゃどいておきなさいデートなんだからにゃーへへへへへへへ
You're disturbing me, woman. Alright then, stand by for the moment. Understood?
へへへへ
I honestly have no idea what the girl's thinking. I only said she could come along for my training, right? What part of that prompted that simpering grin? In the first place, is she seriously planning to run in those clothes? Even a pair of sneakers would have earned partial credit, with no such luck. Then again, hardly any point in complaining now. I'm the one who authorized her to accompany me. Suppose I have to roll with it.
へへへへへ
You could also try to tell her to change her clothes, Yuji. The feline has reclaimed its perch.
いつの間に
How do you not notice something like that? Are the nerves in your head not functional?
猫にゃほら今日だけはね後で遊んであげるからほらにゃーはあ危なかった
I have no idea what was close to what. Strange woman. Why place a cat on your cranium? Perhaps she's aware that US Marines used to tie ropes around their heads to enable allies hiding the rigging to distinguish friend from foe. You can just wear a hat with a four-leaf emblem on the top, Michiru. That insignia is something like an iconized version of the rope they used in the old days.
そうするなんか帽子が似合うって言われちゃったよ
Michiru, listen to what I'm saying! Dear God! I don't think I said anything of the sort, actually. Have to say, though, your clothes today leave a different impression than usual.
あいやそうかなわかる
Yeah. Get the feeling you put in some real effort.
入ってないもんただの普段着です全く普通っていうか山で拾った服です
Matter of fact, my impression was that you bought several outfits yesterday and carefully chose this one from the many you tried out this morning. Was I mistaken?
なんでそう思うわけ
Is there still a price tag on the clothes? You weren't in the dorm much yesterday, and you came back with bags from clothing stores in both hands. Also, I heard you clattering around first thing this morning.
そんなことないもんバカそれではデート料
A troublesome one. Well, you're a troublesome one, woman.
ほらユージ掛け声は
AAR.
もっと元気よくでしょほらえいえいあーへえいおー
Alright, I'm probably gonna end the episode right here, but I will tell you guys my thoughts on what's going on. Or at least my thoughts on the current event so far. I feel like what is it? This situation where like Yuji is clearly not seeing Michiru as like a romantic interest, while Michiru is indeed seeing Yuji as a romantic interest. Well, I can't say I don't understand how Michiru is feeling right now. Like, you know, you're probably in your little world, especially if someone that you like is giving the time of day to make them, or to make you become closer or stuff like that. You'd probably be in your own little world. But still, this to me doesn't feel like a very equal kind of relationship, right? Michiru is kind of putting Yuji in a pedestal. And to me, this sort of relationship, if you even can call this a relationship, isn't gonna last long. Basically, I think Michiru is in that stage where she's like, she likes the idea of being in a relationship, and she's kind of like not looking into the person, but looking past the person instead. Which is why, like, I'm not saying this is bad in any way. It's like quite realistic. It's just, to me personally, if I were in Yuji's shoes, I probably would deny her so that she doesn't have any sort of expectations. But, alright, I think that's it for this episode. So far, I'm enjoying
セーブ
it
しますか
a lot more than I thought. But we'll see. The other Michiru is definitely getting on my nerves though, for sure. Because talking to her seems like talking to riddles, and I agree with Yuji, she's meddling a bit too much. But alright, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. Go to the Patreon, and, you know, these episodes will be launching first there. But I am done for today. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.